Welcome to What the Flicks review of The Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 13, Alone. So, in this episode, we see a honeymoon, and abruptly, people find out the true meaning of friendship, and mainly, a lot of things get set up for the finale, I think. But we start back with Sasha, Bob, and Maggie in the mist, fighting walkers. Bob can't stop smiling, and we finally discover why. He isn't alone anymore, which is so sweet.
Yeah, I was a bit confused by the opening scene. I was like, I thought he was with them. I guess it's been a while, yeah. And I do have to say though, that the fog scene was really cool, but that might be the most oversold a scene could be from the preview from the previous week. I thought that was like the big epic finale. No. Instead it's like instantly fog scene. That was cool though.
Yeah.
I got no complaints.
I feel as though Team Oreo kind of has their shit together.
Team Oreo?
Yeah.
First of all, how dare you?
Oh my God.
What?
There's no room for prejudices like that after the apocalypse.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, they seem very effective. Like when they're all together, it seems unlikely that anyone could die. But overall, what I liked most about this episode possibly is that we're at a point in the show right now where I really do feel like we're due for a death, and it makes every scene more intense.
Yeah.
There were a couple of places in that episode where I really thought someone could die, even a big character, and so that's very exciting.
Well, okay, well, let's move. Speaking of death, let's go over to Daryl and Beth, who seem to be...
Team Death?
Team Death. I mean, that's their couple name.
Team Live
Death. So it looks like maybe I was wrong about them just being friends.
Yeah. So you had thought, so your impression of when they saw the dad's tombstone.
Beloved father.
Yes, beloved father, and then they hold hands. You had a unique impression of what that was about.
She was searching for a father figure. I think in that moment there was no sexual tension. He got dad zoned.
Counterpoint. Have you heard of daddy issues?
Third point, I think she was looking for consolation. And they didn't just hold hands, they couplely held hands. That's what you do with someone you want to bone.
That means something in middle school. It's a big difference.
Well, she's fresh out of middle school. So I thought that was just like her being more open with her feelings towards him. And every time they showed them, I kept thinking like, oh, are they gonna have sex?
No.
And like eventually he picks her up and he puts her on the table and he's like looking at her and I'm like, yes, finally. But no.
It's not HBO.
Didn't happen. I know.
They did have that unspoken moment, like, what made you change your mind? No, really, tell me what. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, it's interesting that he would not
that
say it.
Lighting, but he
eating pig's feet and jelly.
I mean,
in a mortuary.
If that doesn't scream romance to you, I don't know what romance is. But he seemed to be softened significantly, and he was having moments because before they had argued, where he'd said like, "Why do you believe this? Why do you believe that? That's stupid." And she goes, well, I guess I'm stupid. And she runs off in the woods, never went off well. And this time he didn't seem, well, it was kind of his folly when he thought, oh, it's that damn dog again. He wasn't thinking.
Oh, yeah, I definitely thought that dog obviously had an owner. But I also think it's funny that like he finally is like, you know, you taught me there could be good people. But he was wrong. They weren't good people. They kidnapped her the first chance they had. So like even in his like evolution, he wasn't actually becoming a better person. He was becoming a person less equipped to live in that world.
All right, well, I'm going to do a little speculation then. So we've seen this arc with the whole burning down the house and leaving the past behind and finding the good in people and bonding with Beth. And now he gets picked up by what we assume are the worst people left alive.
Or at least very like what you would imagine his group growing up would be like.
Yes, he is in the Sons of Anarchy now. So, like...
They like his vest.
How is Daryl's experience with them changed by his experience with Beth?
Yeah. So you're saying, like before, if he joined up with this group, that would just be his life.
Yeah.
From here on out.
Go with them and do whatever they do to survive.
I really fast. I think the group that Rick and Carl, like that he was under the bed, that seemed worse. They killed each other like instant.
No,
you think it's the same?
That's the same because Jeff Colbert was the one sitting there on the deck.
That's the same group.
That's the same group, man.
Okay, well, we're going to have to check that.
Groups.
We're going to have to check that.
I promise you.
He's a smart guy.
Even the guy who saw Rick under the bed was there with the gun.
Really?
I promise you.
Okay, well, we'll go with that. So you're saying that now that he's changed, do you think he'll be more ready to betray them or leave them if he thinks he might be able to find Beth?
I think Joe said it best. Once a bowman, always a bowman. So
no.
I don't know if he can change his ways.
He's changed now. She changed him.
Yeah.
Well, that group is analogous to a different group in the comics, though we've learned that we can't trust the comics as a reliable source. But if they are who I think they are bad news, to say the least.
I gotta read these comics.
Yeah, so I don't know what that means for Daryl. I don't think he's once a bowman, always a bowman, meaning that he's a jerk, murderer.
Do you think if they hadn't come across him, how long do you think he would have sat in that intersection?
He would have
quite a while.
Picked himself
We don't even know. He might have been there for a day at that point. Yeah.
Oh,
he fell apart. Yeah.
I mean, he had a 50-50 chance. He could have just picked one.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I think that we kind of skipped past this. Before he gets to that point, his scene in the funeral home where he's chased by all those undead, which, by the way, how did they... I think that they were brought to the door as a diversion.
Agreed.
I think that that was intentional.
I think the people who kidnapped her did
Exactly.
that.
Totally.
But that was one of the best scenes of a single person fighting walkers since the beginning, I think. Like, I really... Like, I think it's inconceivable that he could die, but in that scene, I really thought that they could kill him because he was in a dead end with so many, the only thing blocking them, a table. I thought that was pretty badass. Like,
I think they've showed their hand with foreshadowing, and if they're going to kill him, it will be more monumental than that. For Pete's sake, he was lying in a coffin with Beth playing.
I thought they were going to have sex in the coffin, by the way. But
John!
I think everybody watching was hoping they'd have sex in the coffin.
Candles everywhere, Kim.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
She was singing. She was going to keep singing while having sex with him. But anyway, yeah, no, great scene though. Oh, she is?
She has a music career.
She has a good voice.
Yeah,
not bad. So I think we've pretty much covered up until him being picked up by that group. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. And I don't know that we saw in the preview for next week. Did we see that group? I don't think so. I think that we only saw Tyrese and the kids and the chick that I can't remember her name. Yeah. But obviously we did have we had Bob and the other group, and I obviously the foreshadowing early on with the only thing that can't happen is we can't end up alone. They all end up alone.
But then.
Yeah, and again, I will say, I thought that when Sasha wandered into that building, she was going to be killed in there. Yeah, I don't understand, maybe you can explain to me, the whole arc of she ran off to find Glenn, refused to just go to Terminus. She went off to find Glenn, keeps putting signs.
She's going to Terminus. Sasha.
Oh, that's the way?
Yes, Sasha
didn't. Been the way.
She's been on the track.
Oh, I thought she was going backwards. Okay.
No. They've been heading that way, and Sasha said, "Okay, the first building we find that's secure, that's where we're going to start our new life. That's what we're going to do." So she was going with them, kind of deciding.
Okay.
But then she learned the true value of friendship.
Yeah.
And Maggie says, "Before I couldn't ask you to risk your lives, but now I'm asking you because they understand that they need to be together, or they're not going to live."
Yeah, and we did get a kiss. We didn't get sex between Beth and Daryl, but we did get a kiss.
It wasn't who we thought it was. This was an oddly romantic episode.
Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that the moonshine one could have been. What?
Except for the fact that he says, Maggie's out there alone, we can't leave her alone, and I'm going to leave you alone.
Well,
not exactly the most romantic gesture.
She would be safe in the building,
ostensibly.
More safe than
out at all.
More safe than Maggie, I think.
She's more secure than Maggie out on her own, lying there with a walker by an ice cream truck, which is, why would she do that?
Not Maggie's brightest moment, I think.
No, but Maggie using the stop sign or whatever as a weapon, that was pretty awesome. I like that. Yeah, she has evolved into perhaps one of the most fearsome characters on the show.
She gave that touching speech with blood just running down all over her face.
It was a lot like most of Dragon Age. If you played that game, they have all these cutscenes.
No, totally. There's too much blood. Too much blood.
And you're like, this is a touching romantic scene, and
you know they really value you.
As they were putting that on her, she must have been like, you could stop any. This is getting crazy, guys. Come on, no one's gonna buy this.
But Glenn is doing what she hoped Glenn would do, which is another romantic moment in this oddly romantic episode, which is of course going to end in tragedy as we're setting up the finale.
You're talking
Somebody
about
has to
Glenn
die.
seeing the sign?
Glenn sees the sign.
I can just imagine the next episode begins with, oh, fuck that noise, and he goes in the other direction.
Wait a minute. Where was Tara?
Yeah, I don't think that we
just off camera.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, they might. Oh, they're headed the opposite way. They're not going to Washington, D.C.
To Eugene and who's it?
Yeah, I wish that they would check in with Rosalita and stuff.
Rosita. Abraham. Got it.
So I will say, though, obviously I've wanted them to get to Terminus or a place like Terminus, but every episode that we go past and they're not there, I'm like, damn it, they're not getting there this season.
No. They'll see Terminus
see it at the end of the last episode, which means that there's probably going to be some sort of big epic finale, like in sight of Terminus, perhaps. And I wonder, when we saw, remember they came across the herd of like 30,000 walkers or whatever last season?
Oh, in the mud?
Was that presumably Terminus? Past it? The college?
I don't know. I think that was just wandering around. Is it premature to speculate on Terminus at this point?
Do it.
Sure. I haven't read, and I haven't read the comics. She has.
I mean, there's no. It could be an analogy for several places in the comics, but I have my own speculations.
It's new?
I think it's new.
Okay.
Or it's an amalgam of a couple places. There's a little nagging thing in the back of my mind that says Terminus is not the safe haven that it posits itself to be.
What would give you that idea?
I'm thinking maybe like cannibal colony or
or some sort of religious cult or something like that.
You think that's
I think it's army dudes. I think that they probably have some sort of dictatorial society set up.
Oh, that could be one of the cities from the comics.
Oh, well, there you go.
We'll see.
Yeah. I know. I will say, so I like that they've been willing to spend more time on individual groups, and like we've seen way more character development in the past few episodes than in a season and a half before it. But like now it's getting to the point where if next episode is just Tyrese and the kids and what's her name?
Carol.
Carol, there you go. She hasn't been around for a while. They got to start consolidating groups because like we got 3 more episodes left for the season, and they all have to get to Terminus somehow. I don't know how they're going to do that.
They're be heading in that direction, so maybe that will become more and more likely. But next episode looks to be focusing on Carol, Tyrese, and the children. One of the kids looked like she was in trouble, and Carol wasn't helping her. Do you think
like barbed wire on her foot or something?
Do you think the revelation was made as to who killed those people?
Oh God, I hope so.
Because I think it was hinting at that.
That whole party is not going to make it to Terminus.
No.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
I could see. I mean, the thing is, we still don't know if it was Carol or if it was the kid. And if it does get revealed, which it has to, that's the only reason they're all together with Tyrese and everything. Eventually, it's going to be revealed. I wonder if Carol will continue to lie and even be willing to be killed by Tyrese to hide the girl's guilt.
No.
I think that would be a pretty exciting end to that whole thing.
Carol looked like she was in some turmoil when she was watching the kid, and she's screaming, "Carol!"
I guess we'll see.
So that makes me think more on your theory that the children did it, or the crazy child,
the crazy girl.
The one crazy child.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If the girl did actually do it, Carol has already, if that's true, then Carol has already lied about it to Rick and been willing to be banished from her group for it. Would she go a step farther and be willing to be killed by an enraged Tyrese?
I don't think Tyrese.
Stay tuned.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, we'll see what happens next week in episode 14 of The Walking Dead. Stick around and we'll have that for you.